But as far as the natural man is concerned, but the spiritual things of this man was absent. He had a natural spirit, but he didn't have the spirit to know anything about the great, 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 great tragedy that hits all the human race. And one sin into the world by Adam and Eve. And because of that one sin that was tempted by Satan, and they yield to that temptation and indirectly call God alive, the whole world now collapsed in sin. That's why we have death. That's why we have sickness. That's why we have wars, because of sin. And it seemed like they had no guard. They had no understanding of the evil serpent spiritual. They had everything fleshly that a man or woman could act. They had the whole world. They had the intelligence. They had the no sickness. They had a sprinkling system. They had a utopia. They had a paradise. They had everything. But they had nothing spiritual to withstand the wiles and the trickery of Satan. Nothing. They were just vulnerable. And it was obvious they were going to fail. Now, with that said, why do we think without Christ, without the new birth, we can fight the evils of Satan?
Come on.
There's no way. Now here's the perfect setup. Perfect man, perfect woman, innocent as could be. I mean, they're the strongest men, probably, intelligent. I mean, they had everything going, except one thing. They had no power against Satan. They had no understanding against Satan. And that's how we are without Christ. Even less. In other words, I don't consider myself to be equal with that man. They say we're intelligent being now. And they were cavemen. That's dumb.
That's right.
We're going down the ladder.
Come on.
They were way up. And certainly, without Christ, there's no way we can withstand the trickery and the subtlety of Satan. Nothing. Nothing we can do. We must be born in the Spirit of God. So, I would like to say now in verse 23, now bones are my bones, flesh is my flesh, and spirit of the God, and I'm born of the Spirit. But it wasn't even thought of. It was not a surprise to God that Adam failed. It was all calculated that it was going to be a fall of man. So we make room for the second man, or the last man, called the last Adam. Where he comes in, Jesus I'm talking about, comes in as a man, God as a man, he comes in, now fulfills everything that was required of the holiness of God, and take all the sins of the human race on himself. So, I don't want to get too far. Chapter 3, here comes the testing. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God hath made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said. 4 words that come out from the devil right away in Genesis, and he put a doubt on what God told Adam and what Adam told Eve, or God told Adam and Eve. The command not to eat of the tree of knowledge of the good and evil. Don't eat of that fruit there. No. Everything else you can have. But now the devil is nicknamed the serpent. He's not a snake. Snakes are cursed. All snakes are cursed because of the curse right here in verse 14 of the same chapter. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art above all cattle. Now cattle have 4 legs. And above every beast of the field, thou upon thy belly thou shalt go, and the dust shalt thou eat of the days of thy life. So the devil used the serpent. Evidently the serpent had legs, possibly. And now the serpent was cursed. All the snakes were cursed, lost their legs, and now they go around in the dust. So there's curse that was put in this world by the sin of Adam. And I know time's passing, but let me give you what the woman has to bear children in sorrow. It says that in verse 16, the woman is said, because thou shalt greatly be in sorrow, that conception in sorrow, that means birth pains, and thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be the husband. So the husband and wife came now. The husband's ahead of the wife because that's the way God had judged Eve. So the serpent was judged, and the woman was judged, and the man, of course, was judged. And verse 17, Adam, he said, because thou hast hearkened the voice of thy wife, and thou hast eaten of the tree which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat. Cursed is the ground for their sake, and sorrow that shall eat of all the days of their life. In other words, the sprinkling system is gone. And now thorns and thistles, in verse 18, are going to take place. They're going to grow, and you're going to have to weed them out to be able to eat and till the soil. And by the sweat of your face, you're going to feed yourself. And then death comes upon, from dust thou art, and dust thou shalt return. So the woman was cursed, the snake was cursed, the world was cursed, and we're still, once we save today, the curse is still on. Man still has to work, the lady still, they bear children in pain, and the earth still bears thorns and thistles, and we have a cursed world. And we have Satan being in authority, the God of this world. Now, how much more we need Jesus compared to Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve were in a perfect situation. And they couldn't handle the devil. They couldn't do it at all. I mean, the first temptation, Satan says, oh, did God really say what he said? He put a doubt in the word. And that's why we have so much doubts in the world about the Holy Scriptures. Satan has done a job on people's mind against the Holy Scriptures. And you can't get saved without the Scriptures. You've got to have the Word. Someone's got to teach you the Word. You've got to hear the preaching of the Word and the true Word, or you can't get saved. You've got to believe what God says, or you can't get saved. And it was a perfect illustration. Now, the earth's cursed. It wasn't cursed when Adam and Eve was in the Garden of Eden. And the woman was not cursed. The earth was not cursed. Adam was not cursed. Now we have all these curses. How much more should we cleave to Christ? Never give up in our prayer life. Don't give up in that church going. And don't give up in our Bible reading, because we really need to be close to Jesus. Close, close, close. Real close in our fellowship with Christ. Now, let me just go on back to chapter 3 and verse 2. The woman said unto the serpent, you may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But the fruit of the tree, which is in the midst of the garden, God said, you shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. He didn't say anything about touching, but he did say, don't eat of it. And the serpent said unto the woman, you shall not surely die. And I had a guy say, you see, the devil was telling the truth. Because he didn't die that very day. I said, wait a minute. I know scriptures. And Peter, it says, a day with the Lord is 1,000 years. And